mi gente, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to be bringing the video today, and I just wanted to start one with saying God bless you all. And as you can see from the title, you know what I will be talking about, and it will be a little story time. I will not try to make this so extensive. If by this video you guys want more explanations or anything like that, please just let me know down below. And I also wanted to start with a disclaimer to say that I am not in the healthcare profession. Right now I am a psychology student. I only know a little bit about this situation, so I can only speak from my experience and just like the run through that my doctor had spoken with me. If I use the wrong terminology or anything like that, you can't really come against me. I'm just speaking truly about my experience. So with that being said, I'm just going to begin. And before I start the video, if you guys want to know, I did not do my own makeup. I don't really do my own makeup, but my sister did it, and it's kind of nice. I really like it. Kind of goes with what I'm wearing. If you guys didn't notice, I feel like it goes pretty much well together. And with that being said, I'm finally gonna start the video. So how did it all start? If you don't already know, my name is Liz. This channel is Liz and Ash, but I'm Liz. And basically right now I am 18 years old. I am from New York, and this situation happened to me about a year ago. Literally, I had passed the year mark about 2 months ago, and I felt like it's finally time to give this testimony. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a background to explain how the situation, came about. Basically, a couple years ago, when I was about 16 years old, I had been talking to my doctor about my health because there were certain symptoms that I was having that I knew were not normal for me, because I had spoken to my mom about it. So she said to bring any concerns or inquietudes which is basically concerns, to my doctor. And I had spoken to her, and she thought it was an excellent idea to do some blood work on me. And if you've ever gotten blood work done, you know that they take several bottles of you. So what they did is that they tested several hormones in my body. I only know 2 of them because some of them are really hard to pronounce, but I know that they took estrogen, and I know they took progesterone. Like, they were trying to test for those levels. Originally, one of the doctors that I went to, even though she wasn't my primary doctor, thought that there was something wrong with my growth. Like, I was too short for my age, which is, like, compared to my parents and stuff, but like that had nothing to do with actually the situation. So they also did the test to see, but everything's normal. I'm just short. So basically, when we got the results back, I had gone back for a regular appointment, like a yearly checkup type of thing, or like a mid-year checkup. And she has spoken with me that one of my hormones, I'm not sure which one, but she has said the specific one. I'm just kind of bad with those names. She had told me that a specific hormone had been a little bit high, and that it may indicate that something may be wrong with me. And at the time I was 17, so this was a year ago. And yeah, I was like nervous because I didn't know exactly what that would mean. So she was speaking to me and telling me that that I had to do like a test, a different test, and that I would have to go in with my mother. And I didn't let anyone know about this specific test because I felt a little bit embarrassed for it. I know that's weird, but like, I just feel like, I felt awkward and weird for me to be going through that. And I'm not gonna go so deep into it, but I just thought it was weird. People like do faith over fear. Like, for me, it was fear over faith in that moment. So yeah. When did I find out that I had an ovarian cyst or cyst? And basically the way that she found out is that I went to the first procedure test thingy. So I went to take the first test. My mom and sister were both there with me that day. My dad was working, so I went with both of them. And once I went for the test, the person who was in charge was just letting me know what was going on, because I had a bunch of questions, because it's like different. So I was just asking because I was genuinely curious and I wanted to know. And yeah, so I left that test very, very scared. So like the next question here was like, I was scared. Basically, was I scared? Yes, I was extremely scared. And so like I said, I was 17. I was very scared because I was scared for my health. Like I didn't know if everything was all right with me, and I was afraid that because of that test they would find something. And that, like, literally from when I took that test on, I was just living in like kind of fear. And like the thing about it is I didn't want to tell my friends. I didn't want to tell like people I was close to in church, or like my leaders and things like that. Like I would tell them like pray for me and stuff like that, but I was truly scared. Next question is, how did I know everything was gonna be okay? So basically, let me just explain a little bit to you guys. After they did the first procedure, I went back to the hospital just a little bit after they did the exam, and they finally went through everything and stuff like that. So I went back to my primary doctor, and then she told me that there is a cyst. That she looked at it personally, and she also spoke with a specialist at the hospital that I go to, and she saw that there was an ovarian cyst. I think it was on the right side, if I'm not mistaken. I had to go back a month, I think a month from then, or no, it was like a couple weeks after that. And she said, I want you to do the same procedure test again for them to see if it's developing, because there is a chance that it does increase. So from that moment that she spoke to me, afterwards I just went on Google and literally looked up the worst case scenarios, which the worst case scenarios would be that I would have PCOS, I could have ovarian cancer. Like I'm really, I'm looking at the worst case scenario. Don't Google, just it makes you seem like you're dying already and nothing goes. She tried to be like very comforting and things like that, but like I knew that she was also kind of, very concerned. So the way I knew that I was gonna be okay is because in a service, yeah, I'm Christian. Wow. Basically I'm Christian, yeah. So basically I went to a service, and it was just a regular service, honestly. Like, not regular because we're always seeking for more and doing more, but I didn't think this was the day God was gonna talk to me. I literally didn't expect it. Like, when people say like God is gonna move when you least expect it, I'm like, yeah, right. And then literally it happened to me, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it happened. And on Sunday was God was just moving. God was moving. I mean, God is always moving. If you know Waymaker, God is always moving. And basically during that service, at the end, a brother was moved to minister in that moment, and he was just talking about, anyone who is feeling sick, who is feeling empty spiritually, come up to the altar, come, so that we can pray for you. I went up because I was sick. I had like a fever the other day. I was like, yes, bring me there. Let me go to the altar. I need to pray. I was sick like 2 days before. I had like a really bad fever. So I completely forgot that I had this situation. And the next, I was mentioning I need to pray in the beginning, just saying that, can you pray for me? I have an exam tomorrow. People usually think it's just like an academic exam, but I had to take like a physics, like they were gonna do a test on me the next day at the hospital. So I go up because I'm sick, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm just asking for your healing. I'm feeling sick right now. God, I had a fever, and I just want to feel better. I just don't want to feel this way. I want you, God, to heal me, right? So I'm going, and it's so crazy how little my thought was compared to what he did next. I'm worshiping, right? And I'm like, God, I want you to heal me, right? And then we're just like, worship the person. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was a person in my church, and she went up to me. She tapped me on the shoulder. I tapped me on the side, and I thought it was because she was gonna go to the front in the altar. And I'm like, okay, let me move over so you can have your time with the Lord. God work in you. Like, I'm thinking that. And then she taps me, and then she looks me dead in the eyes, like, I'm looking at you. She's like, I need to speak to you. Like, that she needs to speak with me. And basically in that moment, I was, shocked. I'm like, why are you talking to me? Like, we're in the service right now. And I was just thinking so small. if you go to church, people are very careful to go up to you because they're like, oh, if I personally know you, we're friends, you know, people think it's because they know your situation. But this situation, even though I'm close to the person I'm seeing, I didn't, like I said, I didn't tell anyone. The only people who knew were my parents, my sister, and one like family friend, and that's it. Like literally I told no one else. Afterwards I didn't tell anybody. And yeah, so I knew that this was God because the person who spoke to me had no idea. All she knew was that I was gonna have an exam. She touches me, right? She like, you know, if someone prays for you, they put like their hand on their shoulder. But what she did so differently is that she put her hand like, you know, I think on my shoulder, right? One on my shoulder. But she put her hand directly on the area that I was taught, like directly the area, and she had no idea what the test was for. And I'm like, that has to be God. That literally, if you don't believe in God, that was God. I'm being that serious right now. Because I didn't tell her what area it was. I had never said anything. She didn't even know I was sick. Because I had, like, my throat was hurting, so why didn't she touch my throat? So I knew that was God. So basically, she puts her hand directly, right, in my, like, lower abdomen area. Like, in the middle, right? Kind of towards the right, because that was the area that was affected, right? She's like, I know you have an exam. Which, you know, I said it. I'm gonna feel like a little uncomfortable saying this, but it's fine. But she said it in Spanish, and I write it in English just because this video is in English. But basically, she puts her hand directly over it. And then she says, do not fear for your health. It may look like it's getting worse, but all of this has a purpose. And literally, I was just like, whoa. I was like, this is weird. Because she knew I was sick, but she didn't know what I was talking about. So I was like, whoa. I was just shocked. She said, I want you to walk in like you are my daughter. And like the first time she said that, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, because like, you know, I'm like thinking so like physically in this moment. I'm like, this person ain't my mother. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, this person ain't my mother. What she like? You know, that's just me. And I was like, this girl, like, you're not my mama. Like, that's literally what I was thinking. And then like she repeated it 2 more times because I needed to get serious. And God was saying, I need you to walk in like you're my daughter. People will say many things about your health. People will say many things about your person, but don't listen to them. So basically, she continued to pray for me. And then that was, you know, after that moment, it was her talking to me, and she was saying basically that she was just gonna pray for me. She didn't know for months what I had gone through. So I'm like, I'm shocked, right? And she's like, what they're looking for, they're not going to find. And then she repeats again, what they're looking for, they're not gonna find. And I was just like, because like for the test, basically they have to see the point of the test, the checkup thing is to check if the cyst grew or if there's more, if there's on multiple sides, if, you know, to see if I had, you know, developed either PCOS or cancer or anything like that. So they're looking for cancer. So yeah, I'm giving you context just in case. God had to repeat it to me because I was looking at what man was looking for. When I was going in for the exam, they were looking for cancer. They were looking for probably a syndrome. They were looking for something to be wrong with me. And for God to just say, nothing is gonna be there. God just confirmed to me that he is above all things in my health. He's above all things. It doesn't matter what man says. He has the last word. And I experienced that healing. And literally it was instantaneous. At that point, I didn't even need to take that exam the next day. I knew it wasn't gonna be there. But then I obviously still had to do it because, you know, appointments are hard to get. So the next day I go in for the exam. I go in with my head high because God told me, go in with your head high. I did exactly what God told me that day. I walked in and like my head was so up high. I was like, I was walking in como yo iba en una guerra espiritual. Like I was ready for war. Like I was ready, like combat me. Like I was so, you know, just covered by, you know, God's word and that's so dependent on God's spirit. I do the test, I leave. and my mom was trying to comfort me, and I was like, no, God already spoke, literally. That's really hard for you to speak to your mom like that, but I was like, God already spoke. I know what he did. I know they're not gonna find anything. So when I go in again to the hospital to speak to my primary doctor, she had gone over with the exam and also with the specialist, which I still had to go see, which I didn't get to at the time. But basically, I went in, and then she said, it's, you know, it's great. The cyst dissolved. Like, she was trying to be calm, but like, you know, she was really happy because like that's a whole other situation that I would have had to go through. And basically that's how kind of that story ended. But it literally, that moment taught me faith. It taught me how little faith I had. And the word of encouragement is that things are gonna happen. And for anyone that is going through this situation right now, I want you to know it's not the end of your story. And I know that people say that all the time to encourage you, but I'm saying your story is not ended. Literally, God is the last person that you could say. You could be on your deathbed. If God says it's not your time, it's not your time. If you are a girl who is going through this right now, and you know, I don't know how far your story is gonna be, and I'm being 100% honest, I don't know if your situation can be similar to mine, or if you had to go deeper and deeper and years on end. For me, this process was, I think, almost a year, probably anywhere between 6 months and a year. And to be honest, I don't know how long your process is gonna last. I'm not sure. I can't speak to everyone who's gonna see this video, but I want to tell you that healing is real. Wow, my voice sounded like it went through puberty. But healing is real. God is real. And that not because that healing happened to me, but because I read those healings, and because I had that faith, even if you don't have faith right now. In that moment, I feel like during that process, it taught me that, like, what was faith. It taught me more and more what faith is to me. There's healing, and that sometimes God really talks when you're least expecting it, and sometimes when you most expect it. You need to continue to fight, and do as that, you know, person who spoke to me said. Walk in to whatever office you have to go to get an exam done or anything like that. Walk in with your head up high. Don't put your head down anymore. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Put your head up high and have the faith that God is going to heal you. And if he doesn't heal you right away, that there is a legit purpose for it, that is for you to speak to others. And do not be afraid of your testimony. After that situation happened, I didn't tell anyone. I went through such an extraordinary healing that, like, legit, God healed in that moment while I was speaking. Like, I felt it, like, you know, and in that moment. So I'm just saying, after that, I was afraid to speak about it. My friends from high school, because I graduated that year, my friends didn't know that I went through that. I went through it alone. I went out basically alone. What I mean is, like, my close circle knew, but outside of that, no one knew. So what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to say your testimony. For me, it took me a year to build up the courage. Even though I did say it in my local church, have the courage to say it probably on social media, on any platform, on any person that you meet. No matter how small other people may see your testimony, don't be afraid of what they're gonna say. It just showed me that I needed to depend fully on God's Spirit one more time again. Time and time again, it was teaching me that. So I just want to thank you all for watching this video. I know my sister is not in this video, but she's gonna be watching it. I hope she really likes it too, because I haven't really said my full testimony until this video. And also, if you want to share, please share with anyone that has gone through this situation, because you don't know how it can help them. Because literally, when I was going through this situation, I didn't find anyone with my story, and I was very scared, to be honest. And if I can be that voice to someone else, why not? And you know, share it with someone who probably already gone through that situation, or someone that you feel inspired that needs to hear that God still heals, that God still moves, that God still does these things. And with that being said, I am so thankful I was able to get through this video, and I hope you guys stick around, and bye mi gente. I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are, and God bless you all, and I'll see you next time.